There we go. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, my name is Jay.
My name is Charlotte, as I think we know.
And today we are discussing grammar. So we'll
Yes.
try and answer different grammar questions.
Yeah, so I found something. I'm not sure if this is really quite what you had in mind, but you can see it on my laptop as well.
Yeah, and you will help me out if I fail to find the right answer.
Sure. All right. So this one is mostly about you. Most of
Okay.
I'll ask this one anyway because I think it's nice. Do you like studying grammar?
Yeah, I like studying grammar because I think that we learn a lot about ourselves from grammar.
Like what?
By studying its structure, maybe we learn more about the way we think. So
Yeah. What do you think you've learned about yourself?
I think that there are some rules, and sometimes we bend rules, just like in grammar. So that's why everything should be taken with a pinch of salt. Even good grammars can contain some mistakes, inaccuracies.
Yeah, which is
or
kind of what we were
exceptions.
going through today.
Yeah.
Do you think grammar is the most important thing to learn in English?
No. First of all, I don't think that it's most important to learn English. It's more important to acquire English. And second of all, grammar is important, but you will still be understood even without good grammar. So that's why it's more important just to make an effort and to do something to use English. Just use it as a means of communication. In some way.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, what is the most difficult part of English grammar?
I think articles. Because I'm answering from the point of view of a typical Russian person. Because we do not have articles in Russian, that's why all countries, all people from different backgrounds, if they do not have something in their own grammar, they find it difficult in somebody else's grammar.
Right, yeah. So the most difficult part of English grammar for Russians, yeah, I'd say it's typically, typically articles.
Especially in some idioms, set expressions, because not everything can be explained by rules. So there are some collocations. For example, doesn't hold water. So you should memorize it. Maybe, because water can be used figuratively and literally. This time it's used figuratively, but nobody knows why it should be used without any article. But this is the way it is.
As opposed to
Doesn't hold the water is not a collocation. So some collocations are the way they are.
Well, yeah, because doesn't hold water means like it's
it doesn't. So it doesn't stand to reason, or doesn't.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, even unreliable, I suppose.
Doesn't stand to reason. Yeah.
But water is often uncountable.
Although it can be used with a different article.
Well, yeah, if it's specific water, but in that phrase itself, I guess it's just talking about
specific case.
Water in general. Well.
It's not even about water, it's about some specific case.
Yeah, but I don't think it's water often doesn't have an article. Okay, just in general then, not just for Russians, what is the most difficult part of English grammar? That's a question by me. I'm actually going to see if there's any
I
other
think
ones.
it's different tense forms.
Yeah,
although there are
actually,
just two tenses, present, it depends on how we count. Some people say two, some people say three. Like if you consult Cambridge Dictionary online, it will say that there are two tenses, present and past, according to the verb forms. So we have special verb forms. But as for tense forms, there are numerous, like 24 or something.
Yeah, obviously people mean tense forms when they're talking about tenses being difficult. So,
and for example, the so-called be-being forms, like been being, etc., they are very rare. So some grammars say that they're not used in English, but we still can find some rare examples when been being is still found.
That's just passive. That's not, yeah.
But normally they are.
They're not common.
They're not common, yeah.
Okay, which is more difficult, English grammar or your own language's grammar?
Of course, Russian grammar is much more difficult. Although I treat English as my language and my grammar. That's why, the question itself is a bit weird. because I'm not a typical Russian in this case. But yeah, I truly believe that English is easier. Although I make more mistakes in English than in Russian. I make mistakes in all languages I speak, but I make fewer mistakes in Russian, hopefully.
Yeah, I think everyone always thinks that their like native language is more difficult for some reason. Okay, what is the best way to learn grammar?
I think that the best way is as follows. You should start with acquiring grammar by living in the country where they speak it and being corrected softly but accurately every time you make some mistakes by native speakers when they repeat your phrase in the right way. And then you can, once you've achieved some native level of some language, you can go to some special language school and study grammar in detail and study some niceties and oddities, etc.
How do you like to learn grammar in class?
In a playful way, of course. Like it shouldn't be very tiresome. I remember when I studied in England, we had several students who spent like years studying in England, and they looked very relaxed, and at the same time they made fewer mistakes because they simply were exposed to English. And that's why it's better to not to force yourself, not to push yourself to the limits and beyond, but just to enjoy the process and to be surrounded with natives like Charlotte or someone else. Yeah.
What are your grammar successes?
I think the main success is that I started to make fewer mistakes. I can't say that I've achieved some special goal or something. I didn't have any particular goals. I simply tried not to make too many mistakes, and at least not to make too many non-native mistakes, let's put it this way.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty good success to me, actually.
And I also try and avoid some native mistakes if I'm aware of that, because I do not try to use them on purpose, like some people try to sound more native. Like, let me give an example. Yama, this is a name of a vlogger on YouTube, and he pretends to be someone from Canada, although he's Russian or he's Slavic, and that's why he tends to use some native mistakes on purpose, just to sound more native, like for example, etc. instead of etc., pronunciation instead of pronunciation, and some other things that can be used sometimes, but you shouldn't overuse them, and you shouldn't make a point out of making such mistakes.
Right, yeah, I see what you mean, actually. Oh, I'm going to ask you, maybe this will be our last one, I'm going to change this. What grammar question would you like to answer now?
Any question that will make me feel happy.
And what question will make you feel happy?
Just about present simple, I don't know. When it's used.
Okay. Do you think you are good at explaining English grammar rules to other learners?
I hope I'm good, although I always tell my students that they should go to native speakers. Even if they do not know how to explain some rule, at least they can give you a good model answer, and they will set you the right model.
At what level do you think that's most useful?
I think it's good for all levels, but I think that people should start acquiring English at a very early age. Although it's possible to acquire it even at the age of 7 or 14 or 17.
I guess, yeah, as a kid, maybe you could learn with a native speaker if you're still a beginner, but for adults, I never recommend this. I actually feel like it slows down the learning process for everyone.
But no hurry. I mean, we have so many videos when people teach someone.
That's true.
Like in 2 weeks English, in 2 weeks English in one.
That's true.
Yeah, so just enjoy the process. I think this is more important. So make your grammar lessons more emotional, more enjoyable. Surround yourself with beautiful natives, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's not so much a rush. Just I think my main suggestion here is that don't just assume that a native speaker will get you further faster.
And enjoy the process and learn from everyone and from everything. For example, sometimes some grammar can be learned even from lyrics or from films.
100%.
Just write out some phrases said by native speakers and Google them.
Can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
All right then, shall we finish up there for today?
All right. Cheers, my dears.
Cheers.
Bye.